My background is a little bit noisy, so I will just do a quick explanation. So when they tell you that this is actually the root of the equation, then you will identify the equation how it is being shown as a x squared, which this is a number, plus b x. So this is the coefficient, we call it the coefficient, which is a number, okay, plus c. So the ABCs are all numbers, but one is a number for the x square, the other one is a number for the x, and the other one is just the y-intercept. So they already tell you this is kx squared plus k squared plus 1 x plus 3 equals to 0. Then they tell you one of the root is x equals to minus 1. So we work backwards. If the root is x equals to minus 1, that means the factor is go backwards. So you put x equals to minus 1, something equal to 0. So your x equals to plus 1 equals to 0. Reverse engineering. So reverse this root and then go into this. You realize that this is actually one of the roots. So you know x equals to minus 1 is equals to 0. So now you can find k. So let's find k. So let's try to put x equals to minus 1. We substitute x equals to minus 1 into this equation that was given. So you have x, this is minus 1 square plus k square plus 1, then multiply by minus 1 plus 3 equals to 0. So then you have k is 1 minus 1 square is still 1. Then this is minus k square minus 1, because we multiply this one and multiply this one in to open up the bracket, plus 3 equals to 0. So now we have another quadratic equation here. So we continue. So now in order to make it positive, we swap everything over to the other side, okay? So we put 0 on this side, then we move over. K is positive now, k squared is positive now, minus k plus 1 minus 3, okay, equals to k squared minus k minus 2. Okay, so then you need to factorize. You do your quadratic factorization now using this. So let's copy this equation over to the next page. K squared minus k plus 2 equals to 0. Just double check again. It's minus 2. Okay, let's correct it. This is minus 2. So if you do according to your quadratic factorization, you do your cross multiplication method. So in order to get a minus k, and you have k here and you have k here, in order to get a minus k, you can have minus 2 plus 1. So then you get minus k. So you will have, this is minus 1, right? And this is k squared. If you multiply them, if you add them, yeah? So this is k, no, this is minus 2, sorry. Multiply them. We multiply them is minus 2. So this is minus 2k, this is plus 1k. So we have minus k. So this is exactly what we want for this portion here, right? Okay, so let's look at these are the possibilities. So let's put the brackets in. So you know this is k minus 2 and this is k plus 1 equals to 0. Therefore, k can be either equals to 2 or minus 1. So these are the possible values. These are what we call the possible values of k. Okay, let's go back to the question again. The question says, find the possible value of k. We have done this already. Find the other root of the equation. So now we got k is either minus 1 or k equals to 2. So now we have to put the equation back in. Put the numbers back into the equation. And then we see which one can work or not. Okay? So copy this. Here. Okay, it's done. Okay, so we found that k, let's double check again. We found that k equals to 2 or minus 1. So k equals to 2 or minus 1. Let's write down here. So we use k equals to 2, then we'll have 2x squared. If we sub k equals to 2, we'll have 2x squared plus 4 plus 1, because we already substituted in. Okay, don't do this. Let's write it properly. So this is 2 squared plus 1 x plus 3 equals to 0. So we have 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 equals to 0. So we have one equation like this now. So we do the quadratic again. We can use the cross multiplication method to see whether we can get. So we know that 2x and x, 2 times 3 will give you 6, right? So in order to get a positive, this one has to be a positive. So, or in order to get a positive, you have to have both negative, then get a positive also. But you realize that if this is positive, I cannot put a negative here, so it becomes small. So let's do it the other way then. It doesn't work. So let's put 3 here. Okay? So this is 3 and 1. So because we want both positive numbers. Why? Just now that one cannot work. I show you, yeah? 2x, if this is plus 3, then we'll end up with a 6 here. Then we'll have one more here. So then we'll have a 1x here. Then we have x and 6x, then it's a 7x. So this one we cannot use lah. Okay, so we do it up. Yeah? Just for your learning, because I know you are still new, yeah? So this is 3x. So this is a positive 3x, and then this is a positive 2x. So total this is a 5x lah. So we get a positive 5x. That's what we want to get, right? So let's check the values. The values is 1 times 3 is 3. 2x times x is 2x. So this is the first value here. This one. This is the last value here. And the one in the middle is the answer of your multiplication. Okay? Clear? So these are how you do your factorization. Then at least you can do the checks lah. Clear? Okay? So we know based on the calculation here, the factors will be 2 brackets here. It will be 2x, copy exactly, plus 3, and x plus 1 is 0. So our equation, one of the root is x equals to minus 1. So if you have x plus 1 equals to 0, you will get x equals to minus 1. Or if you have 2x plus 3 equals to 0, then you will get x equals to minus 3 over 2, because you bring over the x. Sorry, I do extra. I do very fast already. I show you the working here, yeah. So we have 2x equals to minus 3, then x equals to minus 3 over 2. Okay, so this is the working lah. So if in case you need to know, this is also the working. This is working. This is working. Alamak. That's not right. So this is the working. The black one is the working. Yeah. And we rule out the factor that was wrong. So at least you know these are the steps we do. So it so happened that we choose substitute k equals to 2, we get all these numbers here. What if we choose the other number? We try k equals to minus 1. Okay, we try to substitute k equals to minus 1. So let's put k equals to minus 1. So you have minus 1 x squared plus minus 1 squared plus 1 x plus 3 equals to 0. Okay, so now you got minus x squared plus 2 here, 2x plus 3 equals to 0. I don't like to work with minus sign, so I usually like to bring it over to the other side. So now x is equals to minus 2, then minus 3. Okay, so same thing, we also try to factorize here. And we want to achieve a minus 2 here, right? This is what we want to get. We want to get a minus 2x. So if minus sign, we always have a negative and a positive inside a minus sign. So we can have a positive 1 and a negative 3. So to achieve a negative 2. So minus 3 plus 1 will give you a minus 2 ma. Okay, so this is a x here. So we have a minus 3x here. We cross multiply upwards and cross multiply up downwards. I'll look at the arrow. So we end up with a 2x, so it's correct. So do a check again. 1 times minus 3 is minus 3. Plus 1 times minus 3 is minus 3. So this is correct. Then times positive x times positive x is positive x squared. So this is correct. Okay. So alright. So this is alright. So now the factor for this case will be x minus 3 and x plus 1. Oh, so it works both ways. So either k equals to 2 or minus 1, both we can use, because they will still give you the value of minus 1 equals to the root. So the other root of the equation is either 2x plus 3 or x minus 3, because both will give you the x equals to minus 1. This one, so therefore x equals to 3 or x equals to minus 1. Okay, so this is the other root of the equation. So these are the possible values. Because you got two different possible values, therefore you need to do two different possibilities to check that none of the equation or the numbers needs to be eliminated. Clear?